What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 18 of my Total Warhammer 3 Drycha Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Tala has basically destroyed Talabheim, or at least has destroyed the forces around it, and is now ready to take the territory itself. Shouldn't be too much of a problem as the garrison, while okay, is still fairly limited, and Tala's beaten much harsher odds than that. In addition to that, we have the Gaian Veil for us, though there is some decisions to be made here. First of all, if we cannot align ourselves with Avalorn, the Gaian Veil won't grow, or at least it won't heal itself, and thus we won't be able to get any benefit out of the overgrown Temple of Isha, which is pretty good, especially the physical resistance for everybody. That said, we might be able to get an eventual alliance with the Elves, but kind of on the fence about it, A, and B, I'm not sure that it's necessary. Also, it's kind of not super relevant to us right now, as we have to deal with the Azrai first. The Asura are pretty secondary to what we've got going on right now, so maybe we can delay that. In fact, speaking of delaying, there is a forest encounter here, but I noticed that there doesn't seem to be one of those timers on it that's like saying like three turns until army attacks you. So this, I take it as one of those that we can wait on. So maybe Colas, instead of recruiting another army, which would put us really, really negative, can just come back and then help us with all of this. As after we gain all of these trees, we'll be a lot better in terms of money situation as well. So that's certainly something to think about. Anyway, let's see what we gotta do. First of all, Drycha, I had something of an idea with you as well. I was originally going to send Drycha to Knobbly Gorge and then to deal with this stuff, but what we could also do, seeing as how greasy is right here, is put Drycha in ambush right outside Xiong. And I know this takes us back, but instead then of wasting time grabbing Knobbly Gorge for ourselves, we'll simply raise another lord to do it for Drycha. Yes, that'll make us lose like 1,000 gold per turn, but any time that Drycha isn't wasting is quite useful. Plus, I did want to get Dalsif with the Murder of Spites, since we already got the Blight of Terrors on the other recruit. So yeah, you're going to go into here, then you're going to grab Knobbly Gorge for us, and then we'll deal with stuff after. Lots of newly raised Ancient Treemen lately. But also, I would like to kill Greasus if possible, so hopefully he gets drawn in on this. We're at 100% ambush, but he'll most likely hit Xiong. Well, I mean, I don't see why he would move past it. And then we'll come in as a reinforcement. Have a nice little duel fight with some backup. Plus, I would like to have at least one more of these ogre battles, and I would like for Drycha to fight Greasus, although I'm not entirely sure she could beat him. Well, actually, her stats are pretty good now. Coadil certainly could, though. Well, just in case we fight, let's give ourselves some level ups here. We have the red line. I guess we could keep building Drycha out to be a fighter, but I would like probably at least a few of her spells to at least get evasion. And then Pit of Shades. Drycha's our only one with access to the better spells of the Salur as well. In fact, she's the only one with access to the Salur. Yeah, so we should probably build her out. I was just wondering whether, if we don't go too deep into the Shadows tree, we could go for Home Amongst the Boughs, we could get Quartermaster, Lightning Strike, Perenniality. There's lots of good stuff in the blue line here. And since we already got Wonders of the Forest, I am somewhat inclined to go for it. It does mean probably skipping at least Endurance of the Yoke. I think I'd favor Impenetrable Bark over Endurance of the Yoke, mostly because Drycha isn't super high health anyway, so she's not going to benefit super much from the Endurance. I don't know how many points we'd have left. So we're at 36 now. Let's say 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. And we could go 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, and then we basically have 2 points just to put in Pit of Shades, meaning we'd have to skip Occam's Mind Razor and Arcane Conduit. Don't care about Arcane Conduit as much, but Occam's Mind Razor is very good, or at least it can be in certain situations. That said, we have access to basically 4.5 lures here, so, well, actually 3.5 lures, but that's a lot of spells, and it's not like we'd have the mana to cast everything anyway, so we don't have to go crazy on it. I have to think about that. Also, Drika, you have the reduction to the cost of your Melkoths, which means there is probably benefit to leveling it up further. That's another point that we probably don't necessarily want to waste there. Yeah, hard to find where we want to put Drika's points. Another ambush success chance. Quartermaster will give us -9, and then Home Amongst the Bows will give us -8%. Drika's army is reasonably expensive, but it's nothing crazy. But we do want to get some more Malevolent Treemen in here, which do cost quite a bit, though of course they'll get reduced once the Jungles of Qian are up and running. I don't know, I'll think about it. Maybe Drycha will have to skip a lot of the blue line. I do want Impenetrable Bark, but anyway, let's get, for now, the Withering to reduce enemy armor, which will power up her Dryads by virtue of the fact that they have relatively low armor piercing. I think we'll skip out on Enfeebling Foe. So let's say 1, 2, 3, and then 4, the Penumbral Pendulum. I'm not sure we actually need the Penumbral Pendulum all that much in this particular army. You know, let's get the Withering for now, and let's get the Smoke and Mirror. Although, honestly, maybe we skip Smoke and Mirrors as well, and just get these two. The thing is, yeah, it's casting, but 10% speed, it's basically nothing for Dryads and for Treemen and everybody but the Wolves, and the Wolves are already so fast that they don't care. You know what, Drycha, hold on to the point. I'll think about that one. Let's get everybody else their points instead. Coadil, you will have to get Word of Pain and Doombolt, because those are unique to you, and I'd really rather you have their access to them. You, Thivakos, our healer. Wait, you're not our healer, the other one's our healer. Okay, we have most of the stuff that we need here. I do like Curse of Admir here for this army in particular, so I think we'll want to level that up. I have not yet decided on what to do with regards to the branch race upgrades, but I'm 99% likely, I think, to go for the aspect of the yoke. Mostly because 60 armor is fairly low. Even with another armor piece giving them more armor, like at 20, it still seems fairly low. Not that aspect of the Willow isn't great, mind you. But for now, we get Tempered Rigor, because it's really quite good. And 3 points for only 15 HP, or percentages? Yeah, it's not going to happen. Violent Delights or Impenetrable Bark. You know, I think we need the armor more. Let's go Deadly Onslaught, let's go for Impenetrable Bark, and we can skip Flock of Doom for now, mostly because, once again, this particular army has a lot of ability to cast everything they want. Let's get Impenetrable Bark. So you'll be at 90 with this, and then 110 if we give you, like, an Armor of Silvered Steel, for example, and then... well, 145 is quite a lot, actually. Maybe 145 is too much. But then we could go back down to 90 and then get the physical resistance, but it'll be useless against several things. With magical damage, for example. I'll think about it. Honestly, it probably won't make much of a difference either way. Now, let's see. Regrowth. Yes, definitely gonna need a lot of that over time. Flesh to Stone is okay. Maybe we'll get 1 point in it. Shield of Thorns, however, can be very useful. So let's go Shield of Thorns for now. 1 point in Flesh to Stone. And then let's get Foe Seeker. We'll try to get Tempered Rigor next. I don't particularly care about Deadly Onslaught for the branch rates, but it's fine. Alrighty, Drycha, you ready to fight? Let's go do other stuff with other lords. Akka, you should be attacking Zafar and raising it. Do we have to manually fight this? Yes, indeed we do. Even though it doesn't look like much of a difficult battle. Let's leave you to siege, and we'll see if there's another possible fight that might be a little less of an easy one for us. Tala, you also have points down. I guess everybody's getting points now. You need another point in Earthblood, because it's just too good. And I think, well, I guess we could get another point in Howl of the Forest, but meh. Another +3 melee attack for a point is not all that much, even if it is Aura. Let's get you Inspiring Presence instead for this. Although Shield of Thorns would enable us to immediately get evasion after... Nah, fine, Shield of Thorns. Shield of Thorns. And how close are we to verdant growth level 14? Okay, getting there. You really need a branch wraith, especially since this is going to be our dryad army. It's going to need more dryads and more branch wraiths, as in some branch wraiths at least. But for now, ooh, Pyrrhic Victory. Ooh, make an auto resolve. You know what? Just because we've seen many a battle of this type, let's just auto resolve this. Yes, it hurts, but it'll be easier to do this, and we'll raise the place obviously. Hey, another Forest Spirit. Always a nice pickup, and we got another Scroll of Blast as well. Could have probably gone for Wonders of the Forest X3 there, now that I think about it. Whatever, it's all good. Let's get you Evasion. Especially because you really need to survive in this army. And we could actually grab Talabheim next turn if we want to, and immediately trade it to Vlad. Actually, speaking of trading to Vlad, let's give him Karakadrin and Nashrak's Lair right now.
We have much to discuss.
You can have Karakadrin. Keep your money.
I agree.
And we can give him Nashrak's Lair. This one's worth a lot, 18.5, but yeah. Gifts given is at 47, just out of curiosity. How much is that worth? Gifts given, and that's at 77. Very nice. Very nice. You really like that one. And of course, it's probably going to get destroyed by Skarsnik next turn, unless he bypasses it and goes for Kazid Irkulaz. But we were going to give all this stuff to Vlad anyway, so yeah, we'll let him have it. Durthu. Ooh. You know, just in the... is this going to be a minor settlement battle? Yeah, damn it. I was thinking maybe we could get a field battle at Grunberg, just to break up the non-field battle type of battles that we've been getting later on. But nonetheless, you know what? Oh, I think we'll do that anyway. Minor settlement battle's still going to be different enough from a walled settlement. And yeah, it'll take Durthu out of the way of where he wanted to be a little bit, but it's fine. It's fine. Get him another couple points in Wonders of the Forest. Wait, no. Let me just see. Yeah, we want to get Ward Bark. We want to get Ward Bark for the armor and fire resistance. Although, do we need it to win this battle? You know what? No, we don't. We don't. We'll get you Wonders of the Forest, and then we'll get you Ward Bark afterwards. And just so that you can raise this. And I'm sure that we can level everybody else in here, but the only one that we really want to level, and I know, lots of leveling this time, is you with your Earthblood. Also, what are we at in terms of healing per turn? We're at 8% because we're currently using Israstot's healing buff instead of Tevaryl's. Wait, but if we level... Oh, wait, Tevaryl is not a branch wraith. You are a branch wraith. So if we level you up now... Yeah, wait. If we level you up, like so... Yeah, we're back to 17. Okay, okay. And I guess while we're here, Arcane Conduit for you, and Foe Seeker and Tempered Rigor for you. Good enough for me. Let's get to Grunberg, and just to get another battle, and we will raise the place. On the bright side, weakening the Empire further will help us with fighting the Empire, or via Vlad's army, because hopefully he won't have to deal with them as much as they'll be weaker. Anyway, I guess we'll fight this cinematically, because I think the battle with Akka will be a lot easier. This one might be a little bit more fun to watch. Alrighty, here we go, and I gotta say, I really like this particular map. Both defending and attacking on it are pretty fun. It's got great choke points. The tower placement is... Well, actually, the tower placement was kind of meh, but it's got great choke points that protect you when you're the defender, at least, from direct fire stuff, and because of these massive amounts of buildings, so artillery, at least from this deployment area, not all that useful. Though the same thing cannot be said of this artillery, of this area, as artillery can fire into the relatively clear location pretty well. This particular map is also very different when it's the Imperial version as opposed to, for example, the Ogre version. I think it's the Ogre version that I'm thinking of. where these buildings block so much more stuff here than they do in the other one. But anyway, here we go. We've actually split our army into 2 blobs, Durthu leading one, and then our ancient tree man, or our regular tree man rather, leading the other, and they're both simply going to wander down these choke points, which the enemy is looking like they're not going to block. There may be a benefit to that, as they will then be able to possibly surround our units, as they do have quite a few enemies. Or quite a few units themselves, rather. But we'll see how effective that is. Looks like the enemy is going to run away with its crossbows, which does make sense. We also separated the Firebark Elders and kept them with our Tree Man here rather than with Durthu, as I think the Tree Man might need a little bit of extra punch, lacking Durthu's, rage and ability to destroy everything. And it looks like the enemy's going to charge in immediately at Durthu with a bunch of knights. Not the best idea, of course, as they're not going to do too much damage to him, but the mortars firing can do fairly well, I would think, against all of our dryads. And that said, once again, we don't really care about the dryads in this army because they will be replaced, so we're free to just send them in, rather than waiting for the treekin to move into the battle first. Plus, this will make for some nice battle visuals. Durthu's going to also immediately cast both his Sword of Death and the Flock of Doom upgraded on 5 units at once, all of which should get fairly badly damaged by this. And the other portion of the battlefield is very much going in our favor. Comparatively few units to defend here, and the Tree Man will be able to break through their battle line fairly quickly. The idea, of course, is to march the Tree Man up here and help Durthu's stack out, as they are quite surrounded, but this will allow us to cast more stuff into the enemy. Speaking of, here we go. There is a Dwellers below coming down on this pile of knights and other units. And we'll see how effective that is. It's going to slightly clip some of our dryads, so there may be a little bit of damage there, but it'll probably be worth it at the end of the day. And there we go, lots of bloody corpses left after that, and it looks like 2 of these units got pretty much destroyed. Another swordsman unit is nearly dead and is in fact terrified and running away now, and the Reiksguard too, and got very badly beat up. Looks like the enemy lord has also decided to join his Reiksguard and try to attack Durthu, but that is not likely to go very well for him. And he should probably get the heck out of here before he gets obliterated. An Awakening of the Wood coming down in the background, and we've got a little pseudo front line here, as lots of units are engaged at once. A little bit more Death Starry than perhaps we've been doing so far, but it's certainly working out quite well. At least a little bit more Death Starry for nearly field battles, as in this is not a walled settlement. Durthu's trying to get through to the enemy lord and is having a little bit of a tough time. He's also trying to cast the Lamentation of Despairs, but it's difficult for him. Alrighty, there's an upgraded Flock of Doom coming down on a massive number of units, which should be fairly effective. And as we see, our line of treekin are holding the majority of the enemy back and preventing them from getting to our dryads. In the meantime, let's check back what's going on the other side. They still have not broken through. There's still a line of swordsmen and spearmen defending. But on the bright side, I don't imagine they're pushing too much damage. Or they're doing too much damage to the Treekin or the Tree Man here. In fact, the Tree Man is pretty much at full HP, and while our units started off damaged, we can see that they haven't taken much additional damage. And trying to charge right back into the Dryads, and that does not look like it's going to go well for these poor Empire Knights. Oh, those are actually additional Reiksguard. Well, great for them. Durthu, in the meantime, still fighting. I believe that's the second use of the Sword of Death, reducing enemy armor, and we will continue and dishing it out. But I do believe the battle will be over shortly. The balance of power is now very much in our favor at about 70%. More and more enemy units are routing. The enemy lord is wavering and in bad shape as well. The mortars have been firing this entire time, though, so they've probably done a decent amount of damage over the course of this particular battle. Ooh, those are some nice explosions. This is the Sutzen's guns mortars as well. They've only got 7 kills to their name, but 7,000 damage will probably outdo the damage dealt by any other unit that the enemy has brought. If we had Drycha's ability to summon a unit of Dryads here, that would have been an easy destruction of those mortars, but alas, less because the enemy's holding us back here. And we can't quite get to them. I suppose we could have used Durthu's Mass to just charge through this pile of enemies and go for the Citizens' guns, but nah, it didn't seem super necessary. And there we go, finally our tree man here has also broken through, though there's still a few more remnants of the line holders to kill, but I do believe with this, the ranged units are no longer able to fire. And now nobody's a threat. Now it's just a matter of cleaning the enemy up, as obviously the line infantry, the Imperial line infantry are just not good enough to destroy Treekin and stuff like that. At least not without a lot of handgunner support and other things. Maybe if they were nothing but halberdiers, but even then the Dryads would have just killed them. And there we go, I do believe the route is now here. We could probably get a little bit of healing up. Durthu did take some damage, but he definitely dealt damage out as well. A couple of those Earthbloods will have him right as rain. While we continue chasing the troops down, completely unnecessarily, but just for fun. I just gotta love the Treekin go to work. And soon we'll have Malevolent Treekin with these guys as well, so we'll have 3 different color schemes together. Alrighty, and the battle should end any second now. Durthu should be closing on full health. I'd speed it up, but it's too fun watching these guys kill. And there we go, decisive victory, obviously. We'll sack the place, and we'll keep going. We don't really need to take any of these places, of course, but while we're waiting, we might as well accomplish something. There we go, not too bad at all. Some of our Dryads did take a little bit of damage, but 1, it doesn't really matter since they're going to get replaced anyway, and 2, I suppose it's still less than 10% losses, so yeah, not really all that bad. And Durthu, that's 40,000 damage, though it's really hard for him to actually get him to cast his Lamentation of Despair. It's almost impossible. I tried to tell him to cast it like 10 times throughout the battle, and he just refuses to do so. I guess any stagger at all cancels the animation. Certainly a reason not to bother getting other casters with the Lamentation of Despairs. Let's get you to raise, obviously. And we got a Book of Ashur for our trouble. And a Great Eagle for Tavarel, who is going to be transferred to our Air Force because, well, she can be an aerial caster. Just out of curiosity also, you have the Respondents of Luminescence, so that's minus 25. Drika has somebody who has that, right? We have that on Drycha, I hope. Yeah, okay, good. Especially because we need more reduction of magic resistance for Drycha, since she's going all in on that sort of thing. Alrighty, Durthu, you've got us up to 92k, which is pretty good. And even with us losing 1,000 gold per minute, or per turn, not per minute, hopefully. And that's still okay. And I do believe that's about it, minus the little fight we have to do at Zafar. Where are you, Zafar? Yeah, well, so unlike Tala, we can't auto-resolve this. Alright, that's fine. We're gonna fight this, I guess, let's level up, and then we'll do this manually, I think, because I don't think it'll be too much trouble, and I'd like to speed through most of this particular battle, as it doesn't seem all that worthwhile. Also, let us get Arcane Conduit, and let's start moving through Tempered Rigor. 12 melee and defense for Akka, who's always right in the thick of things. It does seem pretty good. Also, once he has Impenetrable Bark, he'll be at, what, 164 in terms of armor, though he'll probably lose it if we take away his Feather or Helm of Discord, rather. Maybe for him, in particular, Aspect of the Oak may not be as worth it as Greater Aspect of the Willow. I do like the missile resistance for everybody. Though the armor for Dryads is fine, he's probably never going to have a crazy amount of Dryads. He's probably... Akka's gonna probably maintain a half army, as in half beasts and half dryads and treekin. We'll get him some treekin later. But yeah, he's not going to stay as the Speaker of the Wild. We'll get one of our other lords as the Speaker of the Wild, one that will buff up beasts further, and we'll have a fully beast army. Maybe the Air Force, maybe the other one. No, probably not the Air Force. Like, yeah, the bonus versus large for the flyers is fine, but do they need speed? Probably not. Honestly, it probably doesn't even matter who is the Speaker of the Wild, because honestly, these buffs aren't all that crazy anyway. Maybe whoever's fighting the large units the most. Anyway, let's do this real quick via manual fighting. Probably could have leveled the elf as well, but meh. And again, this is this particular settlement, which means, once again, they have the blind spot, which we will be able to destroy them through. And I don't remember if they have any well, not mortars, any grudge throwers or anything like that here. I guess we'll have to find out, but if they don't, let's just say they're in trouble. Alrighty, Akka forward. You're going to go through that gate ASAP. Bears are going to follow him in. I guess we'll put the elf out here, put the dryads here. Hawks, you're going to fly up and knock anybody off the walls. Make your group 3 for that purpose. Akka, you're going to be group 1. You guys are the main line, group 2. And spiders... We'll put the spiders and the stuff here for now, but we'll probably send them around. Alrighty, good enough. Start battle. Attack on Hawks. Attack. Good. And good. Knock those units off the walls. Group 2, main line. Start moving forward if I can select you. Like so. Alright, Hawks. Let's see how many units you can kill with your initial charge. Yeah, not too bad. This unit lost about 30% of its total HP. And it shouldn't be too much trouble for them to fight Quarrelers at the very least, even if it's on top of the walls. Just gotta make sure that they don't get off of the walls, as they do have a tendency to do such things. And, alright, no, don't fly down there, you're fine as you are. And now it's time to get off the walls. How quickly can we break through the gate? Fairly quickly, I imagine. Let's have a unit of Dryads and a unit of Bears help Akka out. There and there. And, oh, they moved some Dwarf Warriors up there, right? Alright, Hawks, you can hit them again. I'll knock them off those walls. Do a little bit of cycle charging. Also, do we want to maybe launch an Air of Ruinous at the Quarrelers there? Yes, indeed we do. Yeah, some damage, not bad. Start firing on those Quarrelers, and I'm also not seeing any Grudge Throwers, so this does not look too problematic. Alrighty, Hawks, keep killing those Warriors. Keep showing that you have some value. No. Oh, don't land down there. You're gonna die, man. Alrighty, Akka, make it through. Everybody else, time to go. Let's specifically get you two in here. Hopefully the Dryads don't try to go up the walls. Alrighty, and Assault of Stone... Maybe we'll save it for now. Let's use this Hawks. You're getting pretty damaged. Let's get you off of there. And let's keep sending more units out. Dryads, what are you doing? What is this? Alrighty, maybe we'll want to send a healthy unit of spiders in to help out as well, and the other 2 units of bears also. Alright, Assault of Stone would be nice. Let's see. Spell. And we just need to make it through. Also, the towers are no longer firing, which means wolves. I want you all here. And here, you're going to break through the walls. Let's get a spider unit in there as well. And Dryads, get ready to move in. More Dryads, get ready to move in, or start moving in already. Similar sort of deal. And, alright, silence those quarrels. Spiders are in to start poisoning. Akka's getting hurt, but he doesn't care because he can heal himself just fine. Let us Assault of Stone right here to prepare for the wolves as they come in once they break down the gate. Enemy's probably going to make it get out of the way a little bit. Let's get another spell casting there. And maybe you will want to heal yourself. Let's get a little bit of a regrowth going. Alright, how's everybody else looking? Dryads still need to move more in. And you are starting to get beat up a little bit, but you're right on the front line, so yeah, fair enough. Bears, I actually want you fighting, so please. Alright, how's that gate looking? Wolves, you break through gates so damn fast, and I love you for it. Go, go, go. Kill the Quarrelers, hit everybody in the back. Akka, start annoying enemies here. Spiders are actually a little bit in the way because we can cast the Dwellers Below. Right there. If the spiders get clipped a little bit, they would get clipped. I don't care that much. Alrighty, and once you get your spells back up, you can cast right here in this blob as well. Ooh, this Dryad unit is getting badly damaged. Let's heal it up. Let's also move more Dryads in. Hawks, time for you to fly. Let's say destroy this tower. And the wolves, they're taking care of business. Perfect. Alright, Akka, you have your spell up and running. Knock some dwarfs around. Beautiful. And the battle should be over fairly quickly. Dryads, as in non-hurt Dryads, I want you in here. And Akka and the bears. Anvil and hammer and anvil crush the enemy between you and the wolves there. This one negative aspect of keeping this Dryad unit here is that the hurt unit will then be susceptible to range fire. Akka, you want to heal those bears? They're getting a little bit beat up. In fact, we'll back off this bear unit, and the other bears are fine. Hawks, how are you on that tower? You've destroyed it. Move to the next tower, please. This one. Although, you know what? Those are miners with blasting charges. Let's not. You might get hit for your trouble. The other spiders are kind of hurt, but I guess we can get another blob of spiders in here to poison the enemy. How are we doing here? Akka, I don't think you're needed here anymore. Let us force the enemy to ratify a Blight of Terrors. Then let's move here. One more cast will probably finish the enemy off, and looks like these guys are all going to melt and or get chased down. And now it's a simple matter of breaking through this line, including the enemy lord, which we should be able to take care of shortly. Actually, while we're here, Hawks, go kill these Quarrelers. Just make sure to stay away from those miners with blasting charges before they kill you all. Alright, Akka is in. What's the cast on the Dwellers Below? It's 14. Probably not going to get there. Let's just cast a Dwellers, or not a Dwellers Below, an Awakening of the Wood instead. Hawks are going after Quarrelers. Akka, buff yourself up and kill the enemy Rune Lord, who's badly debuffed while you're hitting at 696, which is pretty damn decent. Wolves, you're no longer needed here. Start moving out and hit the enemy in the back from everywhere else, although there's still quite a few Dwarf Warriors up there. Alright, just gotta make sure that the Hawks don't get surrounded. Hawks, out. Actually, all of you out. And Akka just needs to break through, but if he doesn't, the Wolves will take care of it, I'm sure. And you know what? Maybe heal everybody here a little bit. Dryads, I think you're going to go up this way, and we're going to keep the hurt spiders in reserve. Let's also get an Arrow of Kurnus. Right. I don't like any of these options. Oh, it's right there, at the enemy lord. And Hawks, I told you to get out! Oh, they went back in. Yeah, arrow units have a tendency to do that. I was going to get these guys out eventually, but I don't want them to die. But if they die, they die. Charge back in to try to save the other unit. Maybe I should have had Akka heal you. And you're trying to go back in again. Unit's getting stuck. It's kind of infuriating. Alright, come on now. At this point, it's the principle of the thing. The other Hawks are fighting just fine. Wolves, you're gonna move in a second. And they're still trying to go back in. What an annoying thing. I mean, they're healing at least. Too bad we don't have another Arrow of Kurnus there. And Akka, try to push through. In fact, try to force these guys to rout with your fear-inducing ability. Go, 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 everybody. And let's Awakening of the Wood right there beside the Hawks. Maybe it'll make these guys survive. And they're out. Beautiful. Doggos, in. Go kill the miners, or at least one of you go kill the miners. The rest charge those warriors. Hopefully before the miners can get a shot off. Ooh, they're up on the walls. Okay, maybe just one of you then. Alright, good. And Akka is through. The enemy lord is running. Go in and debuff the enemy, and then second unit of Hawks you need to get out now. You're no longer needed there. Debuff is in. Good. Akka, use another healing. Well, actually, you don't need to heal the Hawks, because once again, I don't care that much about the Hawk. Okay, these guys are preventing the miners from firing, and are we good? Are these guys not shattered yet? Okay, okay, just move around in them. Screw it. Move around. Is that a unit of Slayers? No, it's just a unit of Longbeards. They just refuse to rout. Well, more power to them, I suppose. Alrighty, now just a matter of destroying this blob for good, and the Hawks once again refusing to get out. These guys are now down to 12. Let's give them another healing. They just have to be babysat so much, and the chain rout, fortunately, is just about here. Unless there's a Slayer unit on the field somewhere, and there is not, and we're good. Alrighty. A little bit of damage, but we're going to heal up in our own territory anyway, so none of this is relevant, and there are no single targets to heal, so we're good. Let's see if we can get that ogre fight going. Yeah, most damage on the hawks, but when you send them in, they're always going to be in trouble, because they don't have the mass to get out, and they're quite fragile. Much better to use them for charging in enemies in the back, but then... I mean, what would we be using them for if not going after enemy ranged units like Quarrelers? I suppose they did do fairly well at destroying that tower, but I doubt the tower did all that much. Either way, we're at 10% losses pretty much exactly, so not all that much either. And that's another 18k to raise this, beautiful. And on top of that, we might be close enough to occupy it. And yes, we are. Perfect. Colonize the place, heal up, and then trade it to Vlad right after. Lovely. And Zafar is part of a territory. I guess we can heal it up. Vlad will like us more for giving it to him like that. Grom Peak. Oh, what I should have done is I should have built the raising increase at Grom Peak last time. Nah, whatever. Not a big deal. I think we're pretty okay in terms of money right now. Alrighty, speaking of money, maybe we have some money that we can spend by getting some buildings up and running. Griffinwood, you're probably fine as you are. I guess we could build this just in case we run into a Skaven Undercity. It doesn't increase the control or anything. And I don't really care about the corruption adjacent provinces. I really wish this building tree was better. Like, at least go 3, 4, and 5 in control, or something, to make it worth building. We could get the Azray Armory. I did want to potentially get the Canopy of Hish. But it's also not a huge deal right now. Or we could just keep saving up to get the Wine Nexus for more cash. I guess that's probably the way to go. I mean, we could also do military buildings. At least so that we have various types of military buildings everywhere, but we also probably don't want to be jumping around like crazy. We'll keep the Forest Dragon thing in the Waterfall Palace. I guess we could reduce costs just by getting an Azray Armory, but once again, probably after we get the winery, so let's ignore you for now. Arguelon, you're kind of in the same position. We may want to build some Wildwood Rangers, but we also may want to delete you. Maybe not now, but later. I guess we'll use one of these as the elf recruiting location, and Durthu doesn't need to have that. Okay, what about Haunted Forest? Ooh, yes, you actually have stuff that can upgrade, like the main building. And let's get that Forest Lookout. And then I guess next we'll go for the Grapevines next turn. And I believe that's it. Alrighty, well, if that's it, let's see if Drycha's ambush succeeds. Dalsif, you can go to Knobbly Gorge, but I want to see if we can't get a nice cinematic battle against Greasus. Also, you know what? Let's just upgrade this. It's going to pop up at the end of every single turn forever, so we might as well. Also, you are... You're bordering Fallen King Mountain. You know what? Just in case, build the Sacrificial Grounds anyway. I'm thinking if these guys take Fallen King Mountain, then we'll need to raise it again. Or in the alternative, we'll still probably want to take it so that we have something that borders Mount Gunbad. Huh. Actually, does this count as bordering or not? Because right there is our territory. But it doesn't border it by road. So to answer my own question, I don't know. As in, does it count as an adjacent region? We shall see. And let us end the turn with that. What, another outpost? Oh, right, Imperial Wardens, yes. Let's build an outpost at the gate, though the Imperial Wardens pretty much always get confederated. Which gate is the best defended? And it looks like Snake Gate to me. But why? Snake Gate has a... Huh. What's the difference here? Bastion Temple is being upgraded to Tier 4. Bastion Siege works. Upkeep reduction. The Tier 2. Oh, this is a higher tier Bastion Stronghold, that's why. These are Tier 3 and this one's Tier 4. I guess they'll all be Tier 4 eventually. Dragon Gate is technically their capital. But if this one's better defended, then we'll go this one anyway. Let's go for Snake Gate. Yes. And I believe that's it. Burning Wind Nomads, we are still not in a defensive alliance with you, therefore, or not a military alliance with you, therefore we can't build anything. Looks like the Defenders of the Great Plan are still alive, and they're still kind of not super happy with us, but whatever. Alrighty. with that, we end the turn, and we see if Greasus gets caught in our trap or not. Well, let's hope that he does. No? Huh. Okay, he actually got destroyed. Well then. Drika, I guess he didn't need to be here anyway. Oh well. We'll try to find him again. As I recall, he has a buff to trade, doesn't he? For the faction, for defeating him. Which for Drika in particular, since we're trading with a fair amount of factions. Well, I mean, not a huge number of factions, but that's going to be a decent amount of money. 1,500 for a little bit of extra leadership. Do we care? I have a feeling we don't care. It's only for 3 turns. Right, then again, you know what? If we get attacked somewhere, why not? Oh, confederation between Goldtooth and Lazargs. Spirit of the Jungle destroyed. Confederation between Karazakarak and Barakavar. Alrighty, the AI have begun to confederate. Alrighty, so then what we'll do is Drycha, you're gonna march stance then. Since you couldn't get greasy. I'll move you here. And we'll take Dulcet out to Noble Gorge. Let's say... just near enough to Drycha that he can't get killed, like so. And he'll take Noble Gorge for us. Also, you should now have enough to get those grapevines and fix our money situation a little bit. And... Griffinwood, you need one more turn. Waterfall Palace, you are good. Jungles of Qian, you will also get this. Beautiful. Alrighty, well, I doubt that the Jungles of Qian are going to die. They're at 88 healing as well, so we need to come here. We really need to get this ritual up and running fast. We got, what, how many turns until the cooldown is done? What's the cooldown? 2 turns. Okay, it's literally everywhere. Daertok, you can also start recruiting Durthu's Malevolent Trees. And that'll be 9 for him. Yes. And Durthu... I guess you can go into Doddernbach. You know what? Go into Encamp Stance. And the healing is not the best right now, but go to Doddernbach, raise that, and then jump over afterwards. Who gives you healing? No, damn it. You do. So let's just give you a point and level up in that light. Earthblood. And now we're back at a higher level of healing, yes? Yes, we're not going to level anybody else. Just so that Durthu keeps healing. Alrighty, and what exactly did Skarsnik do? So it does look like he's gonna go for Nashrak Slayer. We'll just take it back and give it to Vlad again. Alrighty, which also means that we can march stance up here to Grom Peak. Build the iron at Zafar as well. And just temporarily. Once again, we're going to be giving this to our allies. There's a good chance that Barundan Stoneheart goes and reclaims it, but maybe Vlad will deal with him for us. It would be nice. Also, let's get a quick check on diplomacy here. Non-aggression pact with Lamian Sisterhood. Carcassonne is now very much weakened. I actually don't care whether they live or die. Trade agreement nobody wants. Military access nobody wants. Northern provinces are getting ready for that defensive alliance. We could probably pay them for this, but, you know, our reputation's still increasing, so there's no real need to do it. Looks like Reichland and the Golden Order are quite weak, so Vlad should at least have a little bit of leeway to accomplish some stuff. And ooh, he did not actually take the moot. And if he did not take the moot... Lothar, I wonder where you're going. You know what? We're going to send you, Akka, down to Wordpad. Let's see if we can't, or Tala rather. Let's see if we can't get the mood. I was gonna take Talabaim and give it to our allies, but perhaps not necessary. And you should be healing in our friendly territory. Though once again, we do have to be careful with you because you're pretty badly beat up. Anyway, unfortunately with that, it's not looking like we're likely to get another battle this turn, so I think this is probably a good time to call the episode. Next time, we should be able to complete Daertok's refit for Durthu's army, so he'll be able to toss Durthu some new fancy stuff. Plus, there's a very high likelihood that we'll be able to get the Jungles of Qian ritual going. We'll just have to figure out which lord we can send there. I'd rather not wait too long, but I suppose what we could do is send... Well, here's the thing. We have the cooldown for the roots. I was about to say send Colas, but the problem with Colas is that he's going to be our elf army, and he can't build elves here. He could do it via global recruitment, but it's kind of not worth it in terms of cash. He'd have to do it at Waterfall Palace, so he has to come back to Waterfall Palace. What I suppose we could do is have the Air Force Army do it, as in have Dare Talk instead. He can build a bunch of air stuff here from Paravent, and start periodically recruiting Hawks for himself. In fact, do so right now, in case they can come back. Alright. I guess that's the way we do it. Gonna be pretty costly, but once again, these guys, while they look expensive, once they're in Durthu's army, they'll be extremely cheap, especially once we activate the Jungles of Qian. So yeah, let's hope that we can do that next time, and then that'll allow us to build 2 or possibly 3 more armies, because it'll be basically a 30% reduction of upkeep cost for almost all of our units, which is pretty great, and thus we'll get more variety out of more different army types and battle types, and hopefully we can get a few armies with some allied troops as well, and just to mix up Drycha's forces a little bit, because let's face it, her army compositions are fairly limited due to a number of reasons. Anyway, stay tuned for more trees, don't forget to leave a like and comment, all glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.